I know, because you're unusually fair-minded and well-balanced and never really opinionated. I'm interested in why on earth you tackled Mother Teresa as in the missionary position.
Christopher, I'm sure you give a précis to the audience.
I was asked why someone of my natural tenderness and pudeur and fair-mindedness would... And by the way, one mustn't confuse fair-mindedness with objectivity. You know how people often do that in this culture. People say they think even-handedness is objectivity, or fairness is objectivity, or putting both sides. There's not. Objectivity is the search for truth, even if it leads you to unwelcome conclusions. It's nothing at all to do with impartiality. But none of these things apply in the case of Mother Teresa, because it's a simple matter of record that she was a fanatic and a fundamentalist and a fraud. I think probably the most successful confidence trickster of the last century, and responsible for innumerable deaths and for untold suffering and misery, and proud of it. Should I just assert this, or would you require any proof?
I just learned
We know how fair-minded some people can be.
I just learned about John Roger and Charles Keating, for example.
Well,
Thank you, John.
there's two ways of doing it. One is you say, well, if she was so wonderful, how come she went to Haiti at the invitation of the Duvalier family, took money from them which didn't belong to them, had been stolen from the Haitian poor, said how wonderful the situation was for the poor in Haiti, how the poor loved the Duvaliers and the Duvaliers loved them back. How does she get to Haiti in the first place? She's supposed to be in Calcutta. You've got to get all the way to Haiti to praise a regime that is notorious for its wringing of the poor. Oh, she did it because out of solidarity with people who thought like her, and because she needed their money, which they'd stolen, as she stole hers from Charles Keating of the Lincoln Savings and Loan, who gave her $1.5 million and a private jet in return. Pretty good deal, actually, for an olive crucifix and a blessing when he was on trial. He needed a character witness. The court then wrote to her and said, "You've got $1.5 million of the dollars we're looking for that belong to the poor of California. Do you feel like giving it back?" She never replied. She'd written to the court in the first. That's just the fraudulence. That's just touching on the fraudulence. But by the way, if any of what I've just said is true, and it all is, how come you need me to tell you? How come that my profession hasn't enlightened you about this already? How come this woman stands underneath a Niagara of undiluted free publicity for all these years? Ask yourselves. But that's just the fraud. As for the fanaticism and the fundamentalism, look, she said that poverty was a gift from God and should be accepted, should be welcomed. She believed that disease and poverty were necessary for the formation of a good character. And she opposed the only thing that is known to cure, to cure poverty. There is only one known cure for poverty. It's very simple. It doesn't matter whether you go to Bangladesh or Basra or Bolivia. If you can give women control over their rate of reproduction, and come back to that village in 10 years' time, everything will be better, right away. It's the only thing that works. If you can throw in a handful of seeds and a bit of credit as well, and generally try and funnel it through the mothers and the wives, it will be enormously better right away. But nothing else works, and if you don't do it, people die all the time very horribly, and they have appalling diseases like polio that they can spread to other people. Well, Mother Teresa spent her entire life saying that that solution was impermissible. She waged her entire life making sure that didn't happen. So I wish there was a hell to which she could go, because she has a lot of death on her conscience, and a lot of misery, and stupidity, and ignorance, and dirt, and filth, and disease as well. Poison, a poisonous woman patronized by a poisonous pope, whose national security advisor she was, while they could both breathe. I don't miss them, and nor should anybody else. Religion is the enemy. How much is it going to take to convince us of that? Faith is not a virtue, but if it was, it would be the most overrated of the virtues.
No question.